So, I mean, most of the comments are pretty self-explanatory. Yes, greetings. Right. And there was one comment from Pearl, I think, at the start of the show where she says, a very tear-filled letter from Adesh's daughter shows how children adore parents, even if incarcerated. I thought that was an instructive comment, and it is true. Society may hate you, but your children will always love you.
Not only that, what about the, you know children could be cruel too. Yes. Sometimes you go to school and the children who know that you're... Yes. Yeah, your father is a jailbird, you can't talk to me.
Sure. I've been through that.
You've experienced that?
Yeah, experienced that.
That's one of the things my daughter would not tolerate. Yeah. Anyone saying anything bad about me. Yeah. She would always defend it.
Yeah.
But still, how many times you would have experienced?
Well, even getting the people to contribute these letters, some of them saying that people don't know their father in prison, right? Some of them who work, they don't want people to know on their job that their father is incarcerated in prison. So they some ask if to be anonymous. So could I be anonymous? Could I just send a letter? He will know who it's from. And, we have that connection. Plenty of the people was saying. One of the problems that we encountered too is, there are a lot of, as I say, mothers give up on the husband or the child father in prison. And, it wasn't there for the child. So I don't want the child write no letter because they will talk their heart and then you're vexed with me. That kind of thing. We went through a lot. You understand? So it is something as cruel as it could be. People will say that, you can't talk to me, you're a jailbird. You're a bully. And with the invert of bullying now, that is an easy thing to tease one another with. And, we wanted not to highlight anybody, but we wanted to show that the bigger picture.
Men are still love.
Men are still love. You understand? And especially daughters for their father. They would.
Men are still love there.
See God?
I remember there was a woman across that women's prison. For the majority of her sentence, she told her grandchildren that granny's on a holiday or vacation. And she told her daughters to tell them the same thing. I mean, they were young, but when they got older, they started asking the question, so if granny's on vacation, why can't we visit her? And then when they started the family picnic, they eventually came across, and the reality kicking that, here what, my granny is in prison. But for years, she carried that story that she's on a vacation. And I mean, a lot of people are ashamed. No one wants to be, recognized or in connection with a family member being incarcerated. So,
one of the things you all said earlier was that what we do to keep the bond with our children. I think one of the most instrumental part of that is the ones on the outside, whether it be the children's mommy. In my case, was the children's grandmother. She took the role of the mommy and everything, and she was the one who keeps speaking to them and letting them know, that's your father, and you understand. And that was really, really helpful.
I agree.
If it wasn't for her, the bond would not have been as strong as it is now.
I agree.
So it's not just us alone. It takes some work on the outside as well too. And if the mummies are willing to do it, in most cases, as we are hearing here, that the mums will probably say that in prison and try to not have much to do with them, or probably talk down about them. In my case, my daughter wasn't willing to hear that, even though her mommy had that to say. But the grandmother was the one who would really let them know, if your dad was here, you all couldn't do this and you couldn't do that because you I was kind of strict with them, but there was a time for everything with me. You understand? And they understood me like that. You understand? But, I always thank her for that. She has done more than required.
And now, the grandmother is not the grandmother on Adish's side. The grandmother is the grandmother on the mother's side.
Yes.
So although Adish and his wife got divorced, her mother still kept that relationship with him. Because Adish said, while he was out there being hardworking and stuff, his mother-in-law saw that.
Yes.
So, she will tell her grandchildren, still keep that connection with your father.
I used to go through the same thing with my aunt. My aunt is the person who take care of my daughter when I left with free will. And she used to make sure and preach to my daughter, despite what the public might say or people on the outside might say, your father was a good man. He used to do things for you. So don't turn your back on him. She used to make sure and keep the bond. Wherever family there, she bring in my daughter. She would come and pictures, everything, keep everything. So.
And you know, and I could imagine for the mother who accustomed to say, wait till the father come home.
Yeah.
And knowing that she about to say that and realize, oh shucks, he ain't coming home.
Yeah.
You know, it's a real wake
But
up
God,
call.
you know, the conversation that we have in society about holding parents accountable for their children's behavior. In instances like these, where the parent is the one who has run afoul of the law in that sense, who then keeps it going, or reminds the public that it's not an isolated incident. This is a human being who has a family. Yes, he or she may have committed a crime, but they still have relatives who care about them, who love them, who are concerned about them.
Yes.
And I think that is the connection that we miss when we want to jump up and say, yes, put them in jail and do this and do that. But understand that it's not just the individual that you're talking about.